All right, so today we're diving into the world of data centers. You know those like digital fortresses that keep everything running online?
Yeah.
I have to admit, I used to think data centers were just like warehouses full of servers. But all the research you sent over, it's clear that the future of data storage is going to be way more dynamic.
Absolutely, yeah. It's way beyond like the blinking lights and the whirring fans that you might imagine. It really is a complex ecosystem that like intertwines with everything we do, from how fast your Instagram refreshes all the way to self-driving cars.
Okay, so first things first, the research you sent mentioned exponential growth in the data center industry.
Right.
So are we talking bigger warehouses or what's going on?
It's definitely not just about building bigger barns for our data.
Good.
Think about it. Cloud computing, AI, Internet of Things, all of that. We're generating and consuming more data now than ever before. And all of that data needs a place to live. Exactly.
So it's not just like, cat videos and vacation photos taking up space, although I'm guilty of both.
You and everyone else.
Oh.
But you're right, it goes beyond personal data. Businesses are relying on cloud-based services for everything, like customer relationship management, running complex simulations. And then there's the rise of data-hungry technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Right.
All those need massive processing power and storage.
Which brings us to this whole concept of edge computing.
Yes.
I have to admit, I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Okay.
Is this the part where, like, we all get a personal data center?
Not quite a data center in every home.
Okay.
But you're getting the idea. Imagine you're playing a virtual reality game, and every time you turn your head, there's a lag because the data has to travel all the way to a data center, who knows how many miles away. Super annoying, right?
Yeah, the worst.
So that's where edge computing comes in. Instead of relying solely on those massive centralized data centers, we're starting to see smaller, more localized data centers popping up closer to users. This reduces latency, that annoying delay, and allows for that real-time data processing.
Oh, so faster load times, smoother VR experiences, no more buffering.
Exactly.
I'm on board.
Right.
Okay, so how does this work with, like, the giant data centers, though?
Yeah.
Is it one or the other?
So think of it like a tag team.
Okay.
The edge data centers handle the immediate stuff, right? Making sure your online game doesn't freeze or delivering your streaming video instantly. The big guys, those centralized data centers, handle the heavy lifting like storing massive archives, running complex simulations, and training AI models.
Okay, hold on. Back up a second. AI is actually like running these data centers now. I thought it was just using them to process data.
Right.
Like, give me an example. What does that even look like?
So imagine an AI system that can analyze like data from thousands of sensors within a data center, right? And it can optimize cooling systems in real time.
Wow.
So it can adjust the cooling based on factors like server usage, even the weather outside, just to make sure everything runs at peak efficiency.
This is like having a super efficient, always on, like, digital foreman who never takes a break.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. AI can also be used to predict hardware failures before they happen.
Oh, wow.
Allowing for proactive maintenance and preventing, really costly downtime. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Which makes me think about this whole, like, green data center movement.
Yeah, right.
We hear a lot about sustainability these days. But it's not just about being eco-friendly, right?
Right.
There have to be some business reasons for this push.
Absolutely. Data centers, they consume enormous amounts of energy, which translates to massive operating costs. So by transitioning to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, hydropower, data centers can significantly reduce their carbon footprint.
Okay.
But also at the same time, they're saving money in the long run.
And I imagine in today's world, being able to advertise your business as, like, being powered by a green data center, that's a pretty attractive selling point.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's becoming a major competitive advantage for companies to be able to showcase that commitment to sustainability, especially in industries where data storage and processing are, major factors.
It's interesting to think about how much technology has changed even in the last, like, decade.
It's incredible.
And with all this cutting edge tech, we need people who know how to manage it all.
That leads me to my next point. One of the biggest challenges facing the data center industry right now is this growing talent gap.
A talent gap, okay.
As these facilities become more complex, we need skilled professionals who can keep up.
So it's not just about knowing how to, like, rack and stack servers anymore.
Not even close. We're talking about cybersecurity experts who can protect data from, these increasingly sophisticated attacks.
Right.
AI specialists who can develop and implement these optimization algorithms we've been talking about. And even people who understand sustainable design and energy management.
So it's a whole new world of specialized skills.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
And education's got to play catch up.
Absolutely. Education is scrambling to catch up. We need people who not only understand the technology, but also like the ethical implications of managing vast amounts of data.
That makes those job fairs at tech conferences sound a lot more interesting.
Right.
But let's talk about the elephant in the server room.
Okay.
All this data, all these users.
Yeah.
Feels like a playground for hackers, right?
It's definitely a huge responsibility for data centers. And we're not just talking about protecting data from external threats anymore.
Okay.
With the rise of remote work and cloud-based services, the attack surface has expanded, like exponentially.
So how do you even begin to secure something that vast and interconnected?
It's a multi-layered approach. First, you have those advanced encryption methods that scramble data, both in transit and at rest.
Okay.
Think of it like putting your data in a super secure vault that's constantly changing combinations.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
What else?
Then there is this rise of zero trust security models.
Okay.
Remember how I was saying that, the attack surface has expanded?
Yeah.
Well, zero trust basically assumes that no user or device, even inside the data center, can be trusted by default.
Zero trust, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds intense.
It is. It is. It means constantly verifying identities and permissions, which makes it a lot harder for attackers to, move laterally within a system, even if they manage to get past those initial defenses.
So it's like having a digital bouncer at every single server rack.
Basically, it's like having a security checkpoint at every corner, constantly checking IDs, even if you've shown it to them 5 times already.
Okay. That's a relief.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine trying to keep track of all that.
It's a lot.
So AI is probably helping with this whole security thing too, right?
You know it. AI algorithms are now being used to monitor network traffic for suspicious activity, detecting patterns that might indicate an attack. And they can analyze these massive amounts of data in real time.
Oh, wow.
Spotting anomalies that humans would never be able to catch.
So it's like having a digital detective on the lookout.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is that these AI-powered security systems are constantly learning and adapting, which makes them even more effective over time as they encounter new threats.
Okay, so we've got AI optimizing energy use, this growing need for skilled professionals, this constant evolution of security measures.
Yeah.
It's a lot to keep track of.
It is.
So what does this all mean for the average person who's just trying to watch their favorite show or back up their photos, right? Why should we care about the future of data centers?
Because these, behind-the-scenes powerhouses are about to have an even bigger impact on our lives.
Okay.
The faster, the more efficient, and the more secure they become, the better all of our online experiences are going to be.
Okay.
Think about it, like faster downloads, more reliable streaming, even potentially cheaper cloud storage options down the line.
So we're talking tangible benefits, not just some abstract tech stuff.
Exactly. But it goes beyond that. As these technologies evolve, they're going to enable innovations we can barely even imagine today. Think about the potential of, personalized medicine, powered by AI analyzing massive healthcare data sets.
Right.
Or smart cities that can optimize traffic flow and energy use in real time.
Data centers are becoming the foundation for this whole new wave of technological advancement.
Precisely. And with edge computing bringing data processing closer to users, we can expect even more seamless integration of, the digital and the physical world. Imagine a world where your refrigerator can order groceries before you even realize you're out of milk, or your car automatically navigates around a traffic jam based on real-time data.
Okay, now that's the future I signed up for.
Right.
But with all this data flowing around, more connected devices, more reliance on these systems.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make us more vulnerable?
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, the impact is so much greater.
That's a really, really important point, and it's something we need to be really mindful of,
Yeah.
As we become increasingly reliant on data centers, we're putting a lot of eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Right.
That's why, these robust security measures, like the zero trust models we discussed, are so essential.
It's a delicate balance, right?
Yeah.
Pushing the boundaries of what's possible, but also making sure we're not creating something that's too fragile.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the technology, right? It's about having the right regulations and ethical frameworks in place to make sure that data is used responsibly.
Right.
And that we're prepared for the potential risks.
So it's not just about building bigger and faster data centers.
No.
It's about building them smarter and safer.
Yes.
And with an eye toward like the long-term implications of all of it.
You got it. The future of data centers is about finding that balance between innovation and responsibility, making sure that these digital powerhouses benefit humanity as a whole.
I'm really glad we're having this conversation because it's clear that data centers are way more than just like a bunch of servers in a warehouse. They're becoming the backbone of our digital world.
Mm-hmm.
And the decisions that we're making now about how we design them, secure them, power them, it's going to impact all of us.
Couldn't agree more. And the more we all understand about these complex systems, the better equipped we'll be to actually make those informed decisions that are going to shape the future of technology.
It's like we're building the cities of the future.
Yeah.
But instead of concrete and steel, it's data and algorithms.
That's a great analogy. And just like with any city, we need to think about the infrastructure, right? Sustainability and the well-being of the citizens, or in this case, our data.
And speaking of data, one last thing I wanted to touch on is the sheer scale of it all.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about data in terms of like gigabytes, terabytes.
Right.
But those terms almost feel meaningless now.
I do.
Like, what are we even calling the amount of data being generated these days?
Yeah.
Zettabytes, yottabytes, I don't even know.
So we're well into the zettabyte era.
Okay.
And honestly, the terminology is almost catching up with the reality.
Right.
But here's a mind-boggling fact for you.
Okay.
It's estimated that by 2025, we'll be generating 463 exabytes of data per day globally.
Okay. You officially lost me at exabytes.
Yeah.
Put that into perspective for me.
Okay, so imagine every single person on Earth taking a selfie every second of the day.
That's a lot of selfies.
That's a lot of selfies, right?
Yeah.
The amount of data generated globally each day will soon dwarf that by an unimaginable factor.
Okay, now I'm just getting a little terrified.
Yeah.
But seriously, what does it even mean to have that much data at our fingertips? Like, what are we supposed to do with it all?
That's the million-dollar question, and there's no easy answer. It presents incredible opportunities, right?
Yep.
Scientific discovery, medical breakthroughs, technological innovation. But it also raises, serious concerns about privacy, security, the potential for misuse.
Right. It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative, but also a little bit scary.
It's a double-edged sword, no doubt. But I'm optimistic that we can navigate these challenges.
Okay.
And we can harness the power of data for good. It's all about being aware of the potential risks, right?
Yeah.
While also embracing those incredible possibilities.
It's like we're holding the keys to the future, but we need to figure out how to use them responsibly.
Exactly. And that's why these conversations about the future of data centers are so important. It's not just a niche tech topic. It's something that's going to impact all of us in really profound ways.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of data centers, what's the one big takeaway you hope our listeners will walk away with?
That the future of data is exciting, it's complex, and it's something we need to be actively engaged in shaping. These digital fortresses are no longer just behind-the-scenes utilities. They're becoming the very foundation of our increasingly digital world.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about. So next time you hit that download button or send an email, remember those incredible data centers working tirelessly behind the scenes. They're more than just servers. They're the engines of the information age. And understanding how they work is more important now than ever. And that is your deep dive on the future of data centers.
But we want to hear from you. What surprised you most? Head over to our website and join the conversation. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep exploring the fascinating world around us.